Welcome everybody to this week's Talking Tuesday live stream with me, your host Winters SEO, who's slightly distracted right now because I'm surrounded by kittens. Last week it was hot as balls and we had some technical issues. YouTube and my computer, everything was sweating. I was sweating. YouTube was sweating. And then the live stream, it wouldn't save. But this week it's going to be fine. Everything's fine, including the 8 tabs that I have open to go through the Warhammer reveals that we're going to go through together on. Don't look. Get in. That we're going to go through together on this week's Talking Tuesday live stream. I need to close the door, guys. Can you stop playing with the cables? No, that's Adeptus Titanicus. That's the bookshelf, the other one. And that's my toe. Ow. Thank you. Right, we're good. I think we're good. You getting them? Have you got them both? Good, thank you. Encourage them with promises of food. Thigh shot. So lots of things to get through. This thing. The kittens have gone. It's good. It's not as hot as balls. Hi chat. Let's start off as ever by diving into the chat, testing the waters, seeing where we are. Thank you everyone joining me on this week's completely professional live stream. Me, your host, Winters SEO. Shout out VOD Squad. Everyone who's checking this out as a VOD after the fact, you absolute legends. But let's jump into the live stream. Let's see who's here with us this evening and what they have to say. It's always good to, when you're doing like a live stream, to check with your chat and raise the IQ of the entire room, you know? Because let's face it, I'm mainly here for morale purposes. They're the intellectual backbone of this community, you know? I'm an idiot. But you guys are geniuses. I mean, for one thing, you have great taste in supporting the channel and stuff. So, still waiting for the return of Kislev. Yeah, you're getting Warriors of Chaos first. Did you see the Torpura versus Gagey fight? Yes, I did. Says Server, that'd be a kitty reference. Hi, Server Skull. Well, hey, kittens. Good evening, Battle Brothers. Did you pick up a box or two of the new Mark IV? No, my entire Emperor's Children for 30k are made in the old Mark IV. So I've got a Mark IV army, and then the Corvus pattern is the Raven Guard. The Iron Hands are all in Mark III. Mark II is mainly Alex's word, but no, I've already got a Mark IV army. I didn't pick it up. I didn't feel the compulsion to pick it up. Plus, I've got quite a few tactical boxes lying around, and it had a dreadnought in it and something else. It didn't like I have to get that one. Did you feel like you had to get that one? Did you see the Mark IV? I have to get that one. One day until the mighty US MNT, the Ninja triumph over. But listen, Germany's out. Netherlands are out, both on penalties. Hilarious. As Dana White is a scumbag. UFC chat going on here in the chat. Yeah, he's doing the boxing thing now. Let's lock in on the Warhammers, though. Let's lock in on the Warhammers. Can I say, by the way, thanks for your... Hi, guys. Hi, chat. I hope you're all doing well. Thanks for joining me on this week's Talking Tuesday live stream. Can I say, just... randomly, hydrate, by the way, stay hydrated. I have been enjoying the Warhammers lately. I have 11th edition. Chat, what are we thinking of 11th edition? A couple of you must have played 11th edition by now, and I've not that I needed reinvigorating. I mean, I am obsessed, but I'm enjoying it. Every game of 11th I've played so far. I like finding out what the new combinations are like. It's interesting to see what the new terrain mechanic does when playing the game. I played with cards a couple of times now. The first one coming out tomorrow. Another one with a chapter approved mission deck is coming out on Sunday. So you guys have got that to look forward to. 11th edition, I painted a lot this last week, mainly also because I listened all the way through to Dan Abnett's Hive on audiobook. 10 out of 10, would recommend, would bang. I ended up painting 19 models for the Emperor's Children for 30k through the process of that whole thing. I am invigorated. I'm erect. My nipples are hard with Warhammer right now. The reveals, they dropped all the reveals. 11th edition is juicy. Sultan tomorrow in the Wednesday's battle report for tier 3 channel members, Sultan does a dual detachment thing, because you can do, like a detachment with a detachment. He does that thing. It's exciting. And the Heresy as well. I'm enjoying the Heresy quite a bit as well when I'm locking in on non-Heresy missions where you score at the end of every turn. Because if I wanted a game where I score at the end of every turn, I'd play Warhammer. Heresy, when I'm doing like Linebreaker or War of Lies or something like that, some of the older missions in 3rd ed, it works really well. And then on top of the Heresy and the 40k, there's even more Warhammer. Sultan, God bless his socks, has finished off my Beastmen project. I've got 4,203 points of Beastmen for Old World painted. I need to do all the bases. Painted, so I've got to learn that one because I'm only getting a Beastman army, just the tip for Old World, because a whole 3rd new rule system, a whole thing, it'll break my tiny brain. Just Beastman, 4,000 points, more than enough to play around with. I need to add a few more bits in here or there as well. No one mentioned Warriors of Chaos and how cool they look with the new reveals and the fact that Beastman can bring 25% Chaos allies along with them as well, because I'm only getting one army. So Old World will be coming too. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying my hobby right now. It's been fun. How are you guys getting in? Let's dive into the chat. Hi everyone. Hi Wrath Constantine. I think the new asymmetric missions are good for now. Also, the official terrain layouts are actually good as well. The official terrain layouts, I mean, there's 93 pages of them. That's a whole other conversation. But the official terrain layouts, it's good. It's good. I don't like to give GW props, but I think they did good on this one. I mean, yeah, there's pluses and minuses to every launch. Like, the plus to this is the core rules and the terrain layout and the bit that they want you to do, banging. The bit they want you to do. However, I'm worried for new players coming into the hobby, the little Timmies, like where do they start? Because there's no like basic missions in the main rule book. And then what do they know of warhammercommunity.com or chapter approved or all of those? It's not exactly the most accessible system for new players right now, which are the lifeblood of the hobby. So this has been good and bad, but the game itself, it's been fun. I want the new Heresy Whirlwind pretty bad, so do I. We'll be getting the new Ogres. Just need to finish 2 other projects first. Exodites, dinosaurs, get some. You know me, chat. You know that my most favourite faction in the entire of Warhammer 40k is Eldar. And I've always said that the Eldar are the greatest. What could be better than Eldar? Eldar riding around on dinosaurs with laser cannons. Oh, we predicted it. We've been talking about it for years. We knew it was coming. It's coming to Kill Team. We'll take a look at those models in a minute. We'll take a look. It's coming to Kill Team. But surely that's just the tip. And soon we'll get the full amount. There'll be more coming. They're going to sell like hot cakes. Dinosaurs in 40k, las cannons, and the best faction in the entire game, the Eldar. What more could you ask for? Still stuck in 10th for now. Sorry, you should try 11th. It's nice. 11th ed is really good, except for Overwatch. Overwatch only happens in the movement phase. Now, you can't Overwatch in the charge phase. So it's like Overwatch, dung. And then Overwatch is a thing. Played a game the other day. The new land speeder did really well. Pipping in and out and shooting bits. Nice. Narrative deck bad. Yes. The narrative deck bad. Is the narrative deck. I haven't got the narrative deck here with me. But they did release 2 decks. The chapter approved deck and the narrative deck. All they had to do with the narrative deck is release like the old Maelstrom deck. You know, when you took a couple of cards, go and capture objective 5, and you can't get to objective 5. It's like, damn it. I'm going. Or an open world. All they had to do was release like a beans on toast version of the deck with simple, clear instructions for a narrative spin on it. But instead we get Dominatus, that one, which needs 3 players to play, one of them being a War Master, and is linked missions over 3 missions. This is narrative, by the way. Hey, do you want to play narrative? Don't worry about the hardcore chapter approved stuff. What you need is 3 people, 3 games, 3 missions, and it's written like it's written for competitive play. Star Wars Warhammer, it's never been and will never be easy. That's a good point, Blood Buffalo. It has never been easy. You know, has it ever been easy? Let's just say it's never been easy. After seeing the new Mark IV Assault Squad, it made me think of Gunther from Black Book 3 and the Battle of Fall. Black Book 3, yeah. Exodites, Eldar Amish. Eldar, best faction. Who are you and what have you done with Winters? Eldar, we know. I mean, Eldar riding around on dragons, clearly the best faction. Dragons, space dragons in space. Why has it taken them so long? You've seen the little minute, we'll get to the X that will show some of the reveals. But you can imagine some of the models they can cook with. You saw the Warriors of Chaos, Chaos Lord riding on a dragon for the old world thing. You've seen some of the glorious miniatures they've done for AOS with the big dragon thing. Imagine a big giant dragon in 40k with laser beams strapped to the side of its head and the best race in the whole of 40k riding it, an elf. I tell you, my nipples are erect to see that miniature. Ghost has dropped the first stone over the evening. Thank you very much, Ghost. I appreciate you. Thank you. Winters, hope the fam is well. Mostly. 11th drop is running smoother than the sacred machine oil and smells better than a tech priest incense burner mid-right. You're not wrong. There's been a bit of hate online about 11th as well. Mind you, that's what the internet's for. But I think those of us who've actually dipped our toe into 11th, who've given it a go, swirled it round, maybe added a bit of milk and sugar as well, it runs pretty good. The core rules are just, they're buttery. As you said, it runs smoother. They're well-written set of rules. 1 minute, Blood Buffalo, I have to try and read this. Pachycephalosaurus is my favourite dinosaur. What's yours? He's the headbutt Ramboy. He's your favourite dinosaur. Who's my favourite dinosaur? That's a very interesting question. I think my favourite dinosaur is favourite dinosaur. Right. If I had to pick my favourite dinosaur, it'd probably be the Krogan from Mass Effect 3. I mean, Rex is cool. He reveals secret Eldar Loft. There's no Eldar Loft. Maybe the Space Dragons will buck the other. I'm reading through the Siege of Terror so far. Books have been only okay. On to Mortis next. Unfortunately, Mithranda, Mortis is not one of the best ones. You do have Saturnine to look forward to, though. And the one that ADB did just before is really good. I like the Siege of Terror books. I'm sad that you're not feeling it. Because I think Winter's gas sunstroke as he appears to be living. No, listen, I've always said the Eldar were amazing. Okay? Nothing wrong with murder fucking a Chaos God into existence. That's exactly what the Imperium should be doing. Why not? Hail the Dark King. Evening Minkster. Would be nice to get a load more older Horus Heresy republished so I'm not paying £100 online for a book released 10 years ago. Yes, they are re-releasing the old black books for a limited period only for those who want it. However, there are many Russian sort of pirating sites that I would completely not condone and suggest you get any of the source material from ever. Don't do that. Saturnine is before Mortis. Is it? That man said Saturnine is okay. Saturnine is amazing. Saturnine is a great book. So many reveals. It's a Leo Polulip. What? Hey Winters. Hi Bobbins. Apparently elves ride dinosaurs now. Thoughts? My thoughts on that, Bobbins, is I've always said that the Eldar are probably the greatest race in Warhammer 40k fiction. I don't like original races in Warhammer 40k fiction, like, I don't know, like the Tau, or, you know, like races that only chaos that only fit. I like to bring in elves and dwarves and things like that from other fictional sources and put them in the Warhammer 40k setting, because that's more original. That's much better doing that. It means the onboarding process for people who are outside the system can get in a lot better. If you show them a space blog and say, hey, this is a space blog, and this is all the whole history of the space blogs, and this is what they're like, what the hell is a space blog? I don't get their culture and anything. But if you put a snotty, pointy-eared elf in there that think they're better than everyone else, everyone can get on board with that and agree that elves are better than everyone else and should definitely be riding dinosaurs with laser cannons strapped to the side of their heads. It will be the greatest thing in Warhammer 40k history ever. Bring it on. I would love a physical Black Blob compilation released to the same quality as the original. Understand the Charlie jokes. What? Triceratops. I just dig the big cow. Right, okay guys, let's rank our dinosaurs. The dinosaur chat is not fading away, okay? I need the best dinosaurs. What are the best dinosaurs? Triceratops and Stegosaurus is obviously up there, right? The T-Rex with its tiny arms, obviously up there. But what are your favorite dinosaurs? What about, unlike birds, isn't the humble crow technically a dinosaur? Does the crow count? Is it a raptor? A raptor. Or what are the best dinosaurs? What's the one with the big frilly thing and goes, spits on his face and drops the tin can, and, you know, the little ones. That one's, oh, it's so cute. That one's quite cute. In Jurassic Park. There's only one Jurassic Park movie, by the way. There's only one. Don't watch any others. The first one, amazing. Hydrate. Favorite dinosaurs? Blow me away, chat. Velociraptor, objectively probably the coolest, and they can talk. Hi, Pickle Nick. Ankylosaurus, is that a kitten? Are you making that up? Ankylosaurus, that sounds like kittens, because my ankles are red raw. I've got like scars at the ankles right now. I've got ankylosauruses running around this goddamn house at 3 o'clock in the morning. When the ankylosaurus attacks, you feel the attack. It's a hidden sneak attack. No YYX reverse pull left bumper. None of that to get the sneak attack in. It just presses one button. It's got a macro. It's got a macro button with all the combos lined up. So you just press it once and bang, Ankylosaurus causes blood. Night Raptors, best dinosaur. Avdominus Nox. It'd be funny if what dinosaurs looked like was totally different, since we only have bones. Imagine if the T-Rex was furry. I've seen pictures. They think it could be because they're raptors, that they had feathers, potentially, maybe, and the little arms were like wingy things. I don't know. Stegodon. That's a good one. Spinosaurus King. Ankylos, the four-legged armoured one with the big club tail. The Ankylosaurus is the one with the big club tail. He's quite cute. I like that one. Petition to see Conrad Kurz in an upcoming Horus Heresy Winter's Battle Report. Start your petition now. I know one person with the Night Lords who has Conrad Kurz and is currently not playing Heresy because they don't like Heresy 3.0. So I don't know anyone else. So it's probably not going to happen anytime soon. Terribly sorry. Deniocus are better than raptors. Deniocus are better than raptors. I'm getting these words 100% right. Brontosaurus is also cool. It is also cool and also sounds like a chest infection. You're right. My friend actually teaches a college course on dinosaurs. Does they? Wow, that's nice. It'd be nice. We all have our hobbies. Dinosaurs is up there with 40k. I have a gorgeous Night Lord's army with Curse. Blood Buffalo, fly all the way over from Buffalo. Play one game with me, fly all the way back again. It'll be cheap. I know in America you guys like a banned healthcare and banned holidays. Like in Europe we get like 9 bank holidays and about 50 paid holidays a year. Plus we get 3 months off in summer as well. Basically in most of Europe we work about a third of the year, whereas you guys get about 5 days holiday a year and that's it. And maybe Christmas. I know you guys don't like holidays. It's illegal. But you should definitely use all of them to fly all the way over here, play one game with me and fly all the way back again with your Night Lords. It would not be disappointing at all to come to Swindon. Where are we? So Winters, any new models on the table? Yeah, right. I'm doing 19 assault guys for the 30k. I've got a Land Raider for the 30k. I added some stuff for the 13th. So there's a bunch of Emperor's Children coming to the 30k to fluff that out. Then I've got a bunch of like Mechanicum for the 30k that I want to fluff out. I fluffed out the 13th. I'm fluffing out Emperor's Children 30k and fluffing out Mechanicum 30k. And I've got 18 Myrmidon Destructors for 30k. Bits here or there. We're on a holding pattern. We're putting bits into 3 different armies because I'm waiting for the new Necron Codex. Because there's a chunk of new Necron models that released in Kill Team. I've got the Seraptech Heavy Construct from Forge World up there that needs painting, which is half assembled. I don't even know if they sell it anymore. And a few other Necron bits lying around. So when the Necron Codex drops, then there's going to be another 2,000 points going into the Necrons, including all the new bits that I haven't got yet. And it's kind of holding pattern as well, because I'm waiting to see what happens with the Iron Warriors. And if the Iron Warriors are released as a standalone faction, you know what I mean? Null and Oil, Lead Belcher Spray, easy to paint. I could smash that out quite quickly. And Eldar on Dragons. They're going to sell out with the Exodites. It's going to be a you're going to see within 6 months, we're going to get the Eldar Exodite Codex. The world will go mad. And then I will obviously add the greatest faction to my Warhammer 40k collection ever. The elves, the space elves from space. And I will just put all my time. I want a new big project is what I'm saying. So I'm adding bits here. We're adding to the things, waiting for the big thing, so I can just take a massive dive into the big thing and go on some mad painting rant and explode all over the hobby. Like an exploding thing that explodes from an explosion that goes exploding. I will explode. I was trying to not say any rude things. Just imagine a spooky ghost using up all of the internet. Okay, a big spooky ghost. Imagine that. Hey up, it's bloody freezing this week. It's still pretty warm, but it's not hot as balls. We could be waiting for a while for the Necrons. I know. But we've got those Kill Team bits to put in it, and we've got a few other bits to put in it, and it looks like Space Marine 3 is going to have some Necrons in it, which means there's going to be even newer Necron stuff going in it. And the thing about Necrons is they're dead easy to paint. Lead Belcher, Null and Oil, job done. You have a Sevatar, well done. I'm currently painting 2 Iron Warriors Defilers. I need Defilers as well, and the Emperor's Children. I need to add them as well for 40k. Exodites will get a wave 2 before World Eaters, probably. Exodites are going to be popular. So no Emperor's Children. It's been a while. I could do with watching a winter's board wipe. Emperor's Children on Sunday. Emperor's Children coming this Sunday. Chapter approved, matched play, cards and everything, using an official board layout games workshop. It comes down to the last turn. I mean, if they wanted to balance this edition, the fact that all of my games of 11th have been so close means they did a pretty good job of balancing this edition. Do you remember the start of 10th edition when Eldar, for the first 6 months, they had a win rate in all the events of like 80%, 78%, 78%, and then they got nerfed and nerfed again? Do you remember? how unbalanced the Staff 10th was. It was crazy. The Admech Codex came out, day one fact. The Tyrian Codex came out, day one fact. I mean, 10th edition, it was all over the place. But 11th has been last turn stuff for me every single time. Anyway, that gets coming soon. Advice on building, painting the units from the Horus Heresy Age of Darkness box set. What, me? What? Ian, age advice on building, painting. I mean, that's a big... Yes. YouTube. Google on YouTube. There'll be a few things in there. Hot and melt. I'm sorry that you've been hot. Delivering Myrtle Blood Buffalo. With Legends units coming to the app, will you be adding any Legends units to any 40k armies? I will not be adding any Legend units to my 40k armies per se, as in getting new Legend units. What I am finding, though, because I'm so old, is more and more of my official units are becoming Legend units. So, yes, a lot of my stuff in Battle Report, I try not to fill that many Legend stuff when I'm filming a Battle Report or playing a Battle Report, but inevitably, more and more and more of my units are becoming Legend units. So that is a thing. What's your opinion on bolt action? It's bolt action is like Car 98 bolt action, great rifle, absolutely brilliant, great rifle. Played my first game of 11th this week, infinitely better than 10th. I think 11th is a strong addition. So far, first impressions of 11th, banging. I would go to say it's chocolate coated hobnob level, you know? It's very satisfying. The only thing I really want is a Raven Wing refresh. I think a Raven Wing refresh and White Scars, I think that's the sound of inevitability, Mr. Anderson. I think it's just inevitable. When is the question? When? Who knows? I want to see jet bikes again. I had this conversation with Sultan, because Sultan loves his Marines. He's got like 9 armies. I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if the Ravenwing and White Scars had access to jet bikes and the other ones didn't? And then that means the Ravenwing and the White Scars, I mean, they could have the Outriders and they could have the bikes, but they could also have jet bikes as well. And it gives them something that makes them a little bit different, being the premier bike armies amongst the Space Marines. And he went, no. I went, why are you the Space Marine fan? Why didn't you want jet bikes for your thing? They've managed to, Belisarius call some of them, add a few plates on them. We've got that White Scar character on a jet bike flying around. He said he quite likes the chunky, blocky aesthetic of the Outriders, because the chunky, blocky aesthetic is a bit 40k, that impracticalness. 40k has always got this, you look at it and think, that's not really practical at all on the battlefield feel to it, which is part of its charm, I think. He's got a point. My first win was 74 to 69. 69, dude. I've been gifted a 1,500 point bolt action Australian army, and now I have to learn. Well, we all have our burdens to bear. Sultan can be a little bit silly sometimes. He can, and he can also be a lot silly sometimes. Imperial Guard land speed is Imperial Guard Admech on bike. Space Marine Tech Marine on bike. Hey, Space Marines Vincent, what are you talking about? Wakshini, what are you talking about? I have no idea what's going on there. While I've got you here, what's it? Slevenold Dread with jump pack. Oh yeah, the Dreads with the jump packs. While I've got your attention, and we're talking about 11th edition and fun times, there are 2 events coming up in the community calendar for Winters and SEO. The first, on the 8th of the 8th, the Sign of Chaos, the 8th of the 8th, is Realm of Chaos 2 at Firestorm Games in Cardiff. If you're in the Discord, get your tickets now. There's still a couple going. Get them while they're hot. They're lovely. It's a community event run by the community for the community. Plant is running it. Plant's been on the channel a bunch of times. Realm of Chaos 2, Firestorm Games in Cardiff. If you're not in the Discord, why not? Become a tier 2 channel member, get in the Discord. Even better, become a tier 3 channel member, and it gets you access to the Discord and an extra battle report every single Winter's Wednesday. And you can go to the Realm of Chaos thread and buy a ticket through there. Or you can go back through all the videos I ever posted ever, and the last one with World Eaters on is the one with Plant in it, and there's a link in the video description below on that YouTube video if you're not a member. That's one event. The second event is the Damocles Gulf narrative event that I'm running at Element Games in Stockport in Manchester on the 10th and 11th of October with James from marchofwar.co.uk. Tickets for that are on the marchofwar.co.uk website on the events page. And last time I checked, there was 3 tickets left. Sometimes I check and there's none left, and then there's 3, and then there's because people drop out here, there, and everywhere. So there's some tickets left for that one. And the event pack for the Damocles Gulf event will be coming out soon because I wrote it today and we're using it up, and it's coming now. We have the 11th edition rules. We know what we're doing. And that is 2 days, 4 missions, 2,000 points, Element Games. That one's going to be lovely. The last one I did last year was banging. This one is going to be banging. So anyway, I've got to pimp my shizzle pimp. Yeah. Chat, what are you talking about? Speaking of Outriders, multi-part Outriders thoughts. We're going to dive, I promise you, we will look at the new reveals. Hey, Inquisitor FN. It's going well today, thank you. How's it going with you? No fan of 11th terrain concepts. Really? Of course, you can not play, match play and ignore it, but the sameness of yeah, dude. You don't have to do the... Yes, I hear what you're saying. What you're saying is their terrain setups you're not a fan of. They're all mirrors of each other. It also says in the main rulebook you don't have to do that if you want to. It also says that those terrain setups as well, those are for events, tournament events. They're saying this is how you should set up the tables if you're doing a tournament event. If you're not doing a tournament event and you're playing with yourself in your room, or with another person, you're playing with another person in your room, making each other have lots of pleasure. You can set up the table however you want to set up the table and have all your pleasure that way on the table. You know what I mean? You don't have to do the samey terrain things if you don't want to. It's fine not to do that. It's your Warhammer. It's your hobby. It's your money. It's your time. It's your collection. Play your Warhammer your way. The suggested way from Games Workshop right now, with the chapter approved and all the missions and all the things and all the tables, is for events. And you don't have to do that. It's your Warhammer. I agree on Sultan's aesthetic point. However, yeah, he's wrong with White Scar's bikes. Mongolian aesthetic supersedes all their beyond Imperial. I'll tell him he's wrong. He normally is. I think you should get that new Chaos Lord on Chaos Dragon for your stinky Beastman. Dude, I'm only getting Beastman for the old world. Just the tip, okay? There's Heresy and all the factions and the Mechanicum and the Custodes and all the things there that I'm learning and There's 40k 11th edition and all the factions and all the things there. I can't keep another game system in my brain. I'm only getting the Beastman. I said at the start of the stream, don't mention that Beastmen can take 25% Chaos allies with them. Do not mention the war, right? Because they look so good. And then damn Legion Shorts, thank you for your donation. Just 99 cents. New Zealand dollars. Thank you. I appreciate you. Love you, bro. The new terrain and cover rules are kind of bamboozled my brain. There seems to be lots of different little rules to remember. I think it's competitively sound. At the start, it was. At the start, for me, the terrain rules were bamboozling. But a few games in, it's like the AP that you'll have it down. You'll have it down. A couple of games in, you'll have it down. Basically, nearly everything blocks line of sight unless it's exposed, like craters and rubbles and rock piles and things like that. Everything blocks line of sight. Just remember that. And then dense stuff is solid, so even if you're in it, you can't shoot through it. Just remember that. And the other stuff isn't. And that's it. That's it. And if you're in terrain, -1 ballistic skill, or if all of your models are either in terrain or wholly obscured by terrain, -1 ballistic skill. All. If you've got a unit of 10 guys and one of them is in the open and the other 9 are in terrain or partially obscured by it, but one of them is in the open, you can shoot that entire unit, no -1 ballistic skill. There's like 3 sets of bits that you need to remember for the terrain. And once you've played like 3 games, you'll have it down. Trust. You'll be good. Been watching the noise, Marie. Been watching some of your Heresy battle reports recently. How difficult is it to learn coming from 40k to 10th and 11th? I tried list building in new recruit. It was confusing. Dude, one of the weakest parts about 11th edition Warhammer. No, one of the annoying things about 3rd edition Horus Heresy is the list building access. There's 7 pages and a flow diagram. When your core rules telling you how to assemble an army is 7 pages and a flow diagram, you're doing something wrong. For example, I grab the Old World book, I turn to the Beastman page, that, 1 page. That's how you assemble an army. Old world, old system, years ago. One thing. You can take 25% core. You can take certain amount of specials, rares, mercenaries. And if you take special things here, it unlocks other things. 1 page. Heresy 3.0. 7 pages in a flow diagram. I did a video on it way back when 3rd edition came out. How to understand the... There's like 5 videos I did, like how to understand. Go and watch them. Tutorials on things. Once you've done it a few times, this theme is recurring, isn't it? Not exactly accessible for new people, but once you've done it a few times, you'll be fine. Okay? You just need to do it about 12 times. Beforehand as well, the old Heresy is once here's troops, tacticals, and this, and then what? I mean, the decision-making process behind it was one of the decisions of all time. Hormagaunts are pretty cool though, right? No. Weather today is pouring rain mixed with high temperatures, too uncomfortable to prime and paint. Anyone else seen interested in bolt gun boom is coming soon to mobile? Bolt gun's coming to mobile, is it? Nice. If you're touching dense though, you can see through it though, right? No. Dense terrain is considered solid up to 3 inches in height. And it might just, 1 minute, it might just be ruins. I left my core rulebook in the other room. None of this digital stuff. My brain breaks when it comes to digital. Terrain. Solid. Dense terrain features of the solid rule. Line of sight cannot be drawn across any enclosed gap in the surface of such a terrain feature that is 3 inches or less from the ground level. So if you're touching dense terrain and it's a ruin, if there are any gaps in the windows and doors, you cannot see through it on ground level. If you're touching the bottom of dense terrain and it says rock piles and things like that, you cannot see through it. If you're on the other side, say 50% through the rock piles, then you can see through it. But if there's any gaps, the interesting thing about dense terrain is I think trees are also dense terrain. Where are we? Terrain. Dense, solid, dense. Trees, vertically, dense. Woods, yeah, buildings, ruins, armored containers, woods. So if you've got a footprint for some trees and you're on this side in the trees and you can see through the gaps in the trees, then solid. You cannot see through the enclosed gaps in the surface of such a terrain feature. You can't see through the gaps in the trees. Dense is solid on the ground level. Light, however, barricades, other things like that, not solid. Does that make sense? Basically, there's a lot of shit that blocks line of sight in this edition. A lot of shit. There's a lot more dense and light stuff which wholly blocks light. And then the dense stuff, even if you're in it and there's gaps, you can't see through them. If you're on the other side of the gaps and still in the dense terrain feature, then the gaps don't count. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? I feel like I'm making sense here. I feel like I said an actual rule the correct way. I feel like I've just earned an internet point. Why? What are you asking? Winters, do you have any models so old they aren't in Legends? A few, yeah. You're one of the few players online from my era. Yeah, I've got a few. Off the top of my head. The old guy, the Rogue Trader era mini thing, Space Marine guy, got him. There's a few. Is that a new thing in 11th that they aren't cool? What? Is it a what? My old what? What are we talking about? My old world dwarf army has stalled out. Okay. Well, you know what you need. If your old world dwarf army is sold out, Warriors of Chaos coming soon to old world. They look so cool. They look so cool. Shall we dive into some of the reveals? It's literally the title of this stream. Like, we're going to be looking at some of the reveals. Oh, one more thing I need to shout out. So shout out you guys. You're awesome. Thank you for your continued support. I love you. Thank you to all my members, all the subscribers, stuff like that, keeping this going. This is awesome. We're still here. We're still doing it. Start of the channel. 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. 5 editions of the Warhammers on this channel. You guys are awesome. Last thing I want to shout out is Element Games link. I have an affiliate link. So shout out all the guys who ordered Warhammer 11th edition using my affiliate link. Basically, in my videos, in all my videos, most of my videos, if you go to the video description, there's a link to Element Games. And if you buy stuff through that link, if you bookmark that link, if you're in the UK and only buy stuff through Element Games and only go through that link, then you're really, really, really contributing to the amount of models that I can get from Element Games through the affiliate link. Because what that link does is it gives you 5% extra crystals, gives me 5% extra crystals as well. Use code WIN13. It's written in the video description. Anyway, a bunch of you did that for 11th edition launch. And yeah, I noticed my crystals spike up, which is awesome because I need a lot of stuff. So, and it's how I was able to get the Necrons, how I was able to get the Heresy stuff, how I was able to get all the forces out, how I was able to get all those Emperor's Children really quickly, because you guys using the Element Games link in all my videos. Shout out you guys, you're the real ones. Thank you. I notice you. Thank you. Right. What he needs is dwarfs on dinosaurs. He needs dwarfs on dinosaurs. Don't just put elves on dinosaurs. Put dwarves on dinosaurs. That'd be amazing. 5 editions past, 5 editions more. Everyone needs dinosaurs. Everyone needs the dinosaurs. Everyone needs a dinosaur on a gunship. I'm popping into Element Games this Friday. You're welcome. I got double crystals too. You do get double crystals too whenever you use the link and use Win13. I get double crystals. You get double crystals. They rack up pretty quickly. Crystals are basically money off. Thank you guys. Legend. Right, I've done the shouts. It's not as hot as balls. So we can do some of the things, which means I'm going to press buttons now and share Catachans on dinosaurs. Catachans on dinosaurs. Why are there no Catachan muzzles on dinosaurs? There should be more. How? It's 40 years of 40k next year. How long? Why did we wait 39 years for dinosaurs in 40k? We have space toads. We have elves and dwarves in space. They even gave us goddamn Tau. It took them 39 years. I mean, they put Gundam anime in 40k. Probably pissed off all Tau players in the world, but it is Gundam anime, and I'm here for it. There should be more. There should be a Mass Effect type thing in 40k as well. There is. That's the Leagues of Votan. They're very Mass Effect-y. It's an entire galaxy, 200 billion stars. That's a lot of planets. There should be more sci-fi references here, there, and everywhere. But we got that before we got dinosaurs in space. We should have more dinosaurs in space. Dinosaurs make everything better. A bit like cheese. You can add cheese to every food. Any food is better with cheese. Name me one food that's not better with cheese on it. One. Fight me. It's impossible to name something that you put cheese on and it doesn't make better, because cheese is life. You know what I mean? Dinosaurs, 39 years. Mechanicus on cyber dinos. Mechanicus on cyber dinos. This is why I love my chat. Winters, I've been hobbying the last 4 days. I painted almost 10 full Custodes. Well done. Crack on, mate. Well done. You absolute legend. Imperial Guard, Rhinos with, I'll go as far as Death Riders of Krieg on Jackal motorbikes. No dinosaurs for me. Death Corps of Krieg on robotic Mechanicus dinosaurs. Think about it. With laser beams of freaking eyes. 40 years and still no bespoke Terminators for Emperor's Children or World Eaters. Yes, but they have announced that we are getting, or someone announced, or there was a leak, we are getting red butchers for World Eaters in 40k in the next World Eaters release. So bespoke 40k red butcher, Terminator, World Eater things, they're coming. They are coming. Right, now we've got the tsunami of food that does not taste better with cheese on. Marshmallows. Marshmallows with cheese. Disagree. Completely disagree. A nice bit of cheddar with... You could have a slice of cheddar, a marshmallow, and a slice of cheddar and make a cheddar marshmallow sandwich. I challenge any of you not to enjoy that. That would be fucking amazing. Chinese food with cheese. Well, you can't just say the whole of Chinese food with cheese, because lots of Chinese food involves chicken and rice. And Mexican food has lots of rice, and you put cheese all over it, and it tastes better. Have I just insulted two cultures? Custard doesn't work with cheese. Again, I'm thinking a bowl of nice thick custard, okay? Nice thick custard and some cheese sticks, like a proper, like an Edam. Okay, no, that'd be too wobbly. You want something solid, like a red Leicester, and a bowl of custard, scooping out the custard. And I would eat that all day. I would eat that all day. I would eat that all day. A bar of dairy milk with cheese. Okay, we'll put that one in brackets and move that over the side. Chocolate and cheese combo. You might have a point. To be continued. Let's read some more. Guess what I'm painting? I don't know. Can you share the Element Games link in chat? Probably I could, but I don't know how. Basically, go to any one of my videos, and in the video description below, there is a link to Element Games. Go through that, bookmark it, use code WIN13. There is an intelligent way to run a live stream. I've seen other people do it, where stuff comes up in chat, where you can click on this and click on the thing for members and click on the links and click. There is a way to do that. It's just, I'm an idiot. I've got no technology. No, there is a way. This is the way, but it's not a way. Mild, medium, or sharp cheddar. It depends. You see, like a nice sharp cheddar on a cracker is good, but a mild, medium, if you're putting it on, like, you know, anything. Try marshmallows and cheese. You do try marshmallows and cheese. Try it. Cream cheese exists, you win. Cream cheese exists. Cool. We won't talk about Tyrannid Unit. We'll spend 2 minutes talking about cheese foods, just making sure I understand. Yeah, welcome to this is when it's SEO live stream. Sometimes we'll spend an hour talking about cheese. Chocolate cheesecake exists, so that's negated. Thank you, Eternal Crusader, coming off the top rope with a steel chair. Bang! Chocolate and cheese works. Mexicans didn't add cheese until the Americans survived. Tacos used it just to meet. Okay, I'll find it. My link. Yeah, my link. Hobnobs and cheese. Dude. 2 hobnobs, slice of cheese in the middle, hobnob cheese biscuit. Fried rice with cheese isn't good combo, I think. Yeah, but put a little like peri peri mayonnaise on top. Fried rice, cheese, peri peri mayonnaise. That's dinner. Cheese on sushi can actually be good if it's melted. Back in the 80s, I tried a fudge cheese at the small base cheese store. That chocolate taste really eclipsed the cheese part. Right, okay. Cheese, see, proof. I win. Cheese is better with everything, or everything's better with cheese. It's just, I win. It's proper English cheese. No, what? Who? American cheese doesn't count as cheese, does it? I'm not sure it can be legally called cheese in Europe. Cheese in a can? I mean, America have given a lot of good things to the world, like, you know, machine guns and freedom. Lots of good things to the world. Grey's Anatomy, amazing. You know, great things. They've given us yo-yos. You know, really big cars that don't fit down narrow English lanes. They've given us great things to the world. Cheese in a can is not one of them. Food in buckets is not one of them. Food should not be eaten out of buckets. Fuck you, KFC. We are not farm animals. Food is eaten on a plate with a nice napkin, cutlery, a tea coming out of a bone china teapot with candlelight while we all talk about Downton Abbey. That's how you eat food. Not from a bucket. Can we stop talking about food? We're going to go into some reveals. We're going to go into lock-in chat. We're going to do reveals, okay? With American cheese. American cheese is not cheese. Okay? American cheese is not cheese. Hydrate, lock in. I've got some buttons to press. I'm probably going to fuck this up. So, first click on that one. That should bring up this one. Are you still with me? I'm going to go through the reveals in no particular order, and we're going to rate this 6, 7, okay? 6 or 7 for the reveals. Dinosaur. Are we still here, guys? Is this thing on? Are we still here? Right. 6, 7, 6, 7. Testing. Right, let's share a screen. Yes, we are still with you. Good. Thank you for someone answering that one question out. Thank you. Screen share. Big summer preview. No orc miniatures are coming. There's a truck. Now, one of the complaints people had when they released all the new, what were they called? You know, like the custom booster blaster, the Snazdaka thingy bob wagon, the shock jump dragster, the other orc vehicles that came out in 8th edition, whether they were all a bit samey and they all kind of looked. Orc sculpts should give you enough variation so you don't make the set. All shock jump dragsters should not look the same. They should look entirely individual. And then they seem to have heard that feedback and dealt with it with this thing. Because on the reveal, they showed us 3 different versions of the trucky truck. And they all look completely different. And it's straight from the Mad Max movie, as Dilithium says. And then we got the new mech boy here. Look, that's good. He looks. What do we rank this? 6, 7, 6 or 7 for the orcs. The war boss, absolutely banging. He's got a little grot with him. No war boss is not a war boss really, without a grot running around after him. Just ask Gazgul Thraka. And that's got a difference of, look, 16 different combinations. They heard the feedback. There's more alternative parts. This is what orc players want. They don't want all their orcs to look the same. You want to be customizing, you want to be kick bashing, you want your war boss to be the most war bossy of all. There's this is another war boss. Look at him. With a squig on a chain. Look at his little face. He's such a cute little face. Terry, the squig. They should all be called Terry. What happens if I press that button? Yeah, there's Terry. And all the detail. That, I mean, I'm giving that a 7, not a 6. I'm giving that all this. And the Orc Codex, by the way. Did you guys see this? 170 pages, apparently, with the largest narrative section that they've ever put inside a codex. Let's just shout that out for a second. Because again, little Timmy is coming into the hobby in 10th edition, 9th edition. You open the front of the codex to read all the glorious lore. Say it's your first codex. Say this book was your first codex that you ever got in the history of codexes. And you flick through to read and devour all the lore. Do you remember devouring all the lore back in the old days? And there was about 12 pages of it, because the other 12 pages are all pictures. The lore in here is a bit mediocre, as Immortan Joe would say. But the new codex, 100 and something bajillion pages, the largest narrative section that they've ever put in the history of narrative, and 15 detachments. 15. I'm excited to play orcs, guys. I'm excited to play orcs. It's also packed with painting tips alongside art and faction lore, with loads to read about Orky culture, their main battlegrounds, and a new collecting section gives you advice for building Orc armies in 4 distinct archetypes. You'll also get an in-depth information about all of the factions units with the return of the bestiary style lore entries. It's possibly the most Orc lore in one place ever. And if this is a sign of the codexes to come in 11th edition, well done Games Workshop, where have you been for the last 2 editions? This is the kind of thing, I know it can feel, if you're in the hobby for a long time, and you've got to get your codex again and again and again, you get to a point where you sort of skim the lore section, right? But we forget that this codex will be the first codex for a good percentage of Orc players out there. They're going to dive into, for people coming into the hobby for the first time, they're going to dive into it. And the same for the Space Marine Codex and the other codexes when they come. Each codex should have a lot of lore in it. This is good. This is banging. I approve. 10 out of 10. Sadly, they've removed all of the Crusade content, so the narrative crumbled. No one was playing Crusade. Who were you playing Crusade? No one played Crusade. Crusade was so successful they've uncrusaded it. Painting tips was a big thing the codexes were missing. How to make buggies and terrain out of shampoo bottles, please. Yes. Orcs currently have 12 detachments, so expecting to see 12 refreshed and 3 new. I hope this doesn't increase all the time between every codex if they're so elaborate, but I'm here for it. I would love a large Dark Angels codex. More Warhammer more often, right? You're playing Crusade right now? Okay, fair enough. Some people are still playing Crusade and you're playing Crusade. Dude, if you love it, you love it. It didn't exactly take off though, did it? You know, it didn't exactly take off, which is a shame because I love the narrative. I think just Crusade was a bit too much homework. A bit too much homework. But if you're into it, you're into it. It's your Warhammer, your hobby, your thing. Go for it. And I'm sorry there isn't a bit of Crusade in it. Perhaps even if there was 3 or 4 or 5 pages at the back of Crusade, they could have put it in it. You have a point. I stand corrected. I do stand corrected. With 30 people, you're playing Crusade with 30 people. We play Crusade almost exclusively here. I definitely take it back. There's 2 people in chat playing Crusade. Lots of Crusade. I take it all back. I just don't hear much about Crusade people, maybe because they are too busy playing Crusade and doing all the homework. But yeah, a couple of, yes. Ah, dear. I played Battletech campaigns. I'm used to homework. Nice. Yeah, more Warhammer, more often, bigger Orc Codex. And it's floppy pages, is by the way, the Orc Codex. Big floppy page, not hardback, so that'll keep the price down. So I'm down with this. Standalone Armageddon units. These are available in the Armageddon box right now, and you'll be able to pick them up on their own when the Orc Codex drops. So more war tracks and the Dakar rig for the mech there. Don't think you might pick up a couple of war banners. It might be worth picking up 2 war banners. Mind you, there's probably a few Orcs on eBay because the war banner has always been good. And then a thing to keep, yeah. Orcs. Orc dice, Siege of Deathmark. We'll get to that. Orcs look good. Codex looks good. This is the first codex that is coming in 11th edition, and it looks like a chonky tome. I am here for it. What do we think of chonky tomes? I like the idea that there's more Warhammer, more lore, more detachments, more stuff in it, minus the Crusade stuff. Sucks for the Crusade people. But what do you guys think? I mean, it does bode well. Someone said, like, I look forward to a chonky Dark Angels Codex. Wouldn't it be good if we got a chonky Dark Angels Codex? I mean, the Lion is back. There's 2 good guy Primarchs back, and the Lion's one of them. And you've got the Fallen, now the Risen. There should be a chonk load of lore in that Dark Angels Codex. I'd like to see it. Hydrate, Aqua. I like big books and I cannot lie. I like the reference. But they better have a hardback copy. I'm not sure. It's all floppy. The ones they saw were floppy. I'm not sure we're getting hardback. I wish the trucks had a bit more transport bed or less other stuff. They can be made. They showed 3 different looking trucks from the one kit, and each of them look pretty separate to me. As far compared, like I said, compared to the Shock Jump Dragster and the Waz Daka Blast Jet and the Boom Daka Snaz Jubbly Wubbly, there's more variation in these kits, which is good. They could do so much more with the Lore for the Dark. You're right. They could do so much more with the Lore for the Dark Angels, such as, for example, Gilliman and the Lion actually having a chat. I can't believe it's been so long since Sons of the... Yes, right. So that's the first thing. Orcs. Next up, we're going to share this. The big summer preview, Exodites revealed. Everyone on this channel knows that my favourite faction by a long way is Eldar. And we've been calling it on this channel for a long time. You and me, in the chat, we've been talking about it. But we have space dragons in space. Hi, Stuart Fields. I'm doing well. So, look at this. Look at this. Dragons in space. The only thing they're missing is strapping las cannons to the side of its face. It would be epic. We have the clan, and the paint job. These aren't going to be easy to paint, are they? Like if you're painting up that clan blade there, that's 2 miniatures. That's the elf, best faction in Warhammer 40k, and that's the dragon. And then you're painting 2 of them. And the colour palette that they've chosen between the 2 looks cool. And that blending on the sword looks cool. That's space elves. Cool. Detailing on the shields. Shield, sword, dragon. Brilliant. Stone Singer. Bigger dragon. Bigger dragon. Great colour palette. Whoever painted these, 10 out of 10. Look at the orange around the thing. This is good. Elves on dragons with some guns. Exodites. Only in kill team for now. Lay Stalker. Look at again, detail around the eye. Whoever gets this kill team, or a couple of copies of this kill team, and sticks them together and then add them to their Eldar faction, you are winning in the hobby as far as I'm concerned. These look fucking amazing. Absolutely amazing. I can't wait to see this come out as a full codex, or maybe there should be a Drukhari codex, there should be a Craftworld Eldar codex, and then there should be an Eldar Allies codex. You know, like we have the Imperial Agents codex, where all the other bits that don't quite fit go in there. Craftworld Eldar have actually got quite a big selection, and the Drukhari have got actually quite a big selection and are due for an update anytime soon. In an Eldar Allies book, you could put Corsairs, Harlequins, Ynnari and Exodites, and you could expand each of those as and when you want to, depending on which ones sell more popular, and have rules for adding any number or a certain percentage of them to your Drukhari or to your Craft World from the Eldar Allies book. You can do it in Imperial Agents. You can do it with demons. Pick any Chaos Army, Death Guard, Chaos Space Marines, whatever you want, and you can add anything from the Demon Codex. Yeah. Not that that exists currently, but anything from, and stick them in the thing. You could do that. I'm sure we're going to get a new. Anyway, there is a tried and tested route to success for this. So I'd love to see Eldar Exodites and Harlequins and Ynnari and all of them stuck together in their own book, and you can mix them. It's just a perfect way of introducing them to the mainstream with official Warhammer 40k rules rather than kill team rules, and officially adding them to tournaments, officially adding them to people's collections, and seeing which ones sell more. And I reckon, yes, like Ynnari Wraith constructs that are living. We all know that the Eldar are the greatest faction in Warhammer 40k. Just give us more Eldar, Give us more Eldar. Servo Skull, thank you for 5 gifted memberships. GG's. To you, Service Goal. I love you. Thank you. Hey, Winters, check out the Exodite Kill Team cover art. It's one of the best artwork EW released in 2026. What? Cover art. Eldar Exodite cover art. Lay Stalker. Look at the little dragons. Dragon dogs. Thank you, Service Goal. Thank you. Exodite Dragon Knights. The Dragon Master's kit can alternatively be assembled as a lance-armed Exodite Dragon Knight, who will have rules for Warhammer 40k. Look at it. Look at it. I mean, I want 3. What happens if I press this button? Dragon Knights with a lance. Look, literally a knight on a dragon with a lance. And there's 3 different poses, it would seem. That's a different pose. Yes. If there's 3 different poses, I want 6. And it stood on a rock. It stood on a tactical rock. They're just... The miniatures will be available for the first time in the Kill Team Exodite box while they'll be seeking to defend their world from brutal orc invasion. The dossier is a real treasure trove for Exodite lore and includes a wealth of information about the culture, weapons, and beasts of these exclusive. That's good, because the Exodite lore has been a wobbly for some time now. Also, a pack contains a guide to building. These are the Maiden Worlds, and I will see. It says they say Maiden Worlds again and again and again, but they're Maiden Worlds in the Halo cluster and the edge of the galaxy. That's where they're supposed to be. Maiden Worlds way, way, way out away. Let's see if they change that law. Cover art. That's the cover art that Sky Watcher Adept said. Check out the Exodite Kill Team cover art. That is amazing cover art. And that is an elf on a dinosaur with a sword. That's incredible. Looks a bit Zinchy to me. Nurgle for life. Your name is Nurgle for life. Everything looks Zinchy for you. Or smelly. Of the 22 Dark Eldar options, 9 are online only, while 5 more are out of stock. Their situation is dire. Yes, they are currently... Games Workshop are currently building factory number 5, which will increase, they say, will increase their entire production output by a third. So it's probably going to be about 25%. One factory will increase the entire output by 25 to 33%. And Factory 5 is going online in January 2026. Slightly behind right now, but it's coming online very, very soon. They're also building their own paint facility. So, yes, their online thing is dire and has been for a very long time, which is why they're building. They can't keep up. They can't keep up. They can't keep up with all the Warhammers. I want those little dinos as pets for salamanders. Red Richmond, you might have an idea there. Factory number 5, they've already taken the fishing industry. Jumped out of my chair when I saw these on preview. Oh, dude, Eldar Exodites. Man. It was a bit, for me, I'll tell you what. For me, it was a bit like seeing Emperor's Children being released as a standalone faction for the first time. As someone who's been in the hobby since the 80s. Seeing a whole new Chaos faction that we never thought we'd get, the Emperor's Children, appear from nowhere, blew my mind. And they were my funnest faction to play in 10th edition Warhammer 40k. It was just, the 11-year-old in me was jumping with joy, painting, playing, collecting Emperor's Children. And then Eldar on dinosaurs. We've been hearing about this since Eldar were released in 1988. And here they are. The 11-year-old in me is jumping for joy. Eldar are clearly the best faction in the whole of Warhammer 40k. And they need more dinosaurs. Here's a question, chat. Seriously. How many of you are seriously thinking about getting Eldar on dinosaurs? Just genuinely asking. 75 people in the chat right now. Yes. If you're seriously thinking about getting some, just chuck in a yes. Some of you might not even collect Eldar. But I just want to test out of our little pool of 75 people, how many of you... I'll put my name in there. Me. I don't have any Eldar, even though they're the greatest faction in Warhammer 40k, clearly. But I'll be getting these. Just to paint them, just to own them, just to sleep with them next to my pillow and stroke them at night. Hydrate. Nope. Yes, probably more than one. Yes, yes, yep, yep. Look good, but no, no. 100% adding these, yep, nope, yes. So about 10, I feel like the Crusade of Eldar to me. They can't stand Eldar for the most part. But a long dead part of me sparked into life at seeing these Dino Riders. Stuart Fields. You're speaking my language, bro. Orcs and Eldar. Xenos for life. No, already have Lizardmen. So out of us, there's about, I want to say 10%, 15% of people in the chat. Let's say 10% of us are going to be getting this. Out of our little sample of hobby. If that goes across the industry, 10% of people, these are going to sell like freaking hotcakes. Even if it was 1% of the people who collect in the hobby, these are going to sell out. They're going to be super popular. I mean, box of 3 plus bunch of orcs plus Kill Team Premium might consider as a standalone, but not rushing to buy the Kill Team box. I will, but once they release a separate Kill Team. Yeah, because in the Kill Team box, you'll get them with the orcs. Let's put it this way. Orc players out there delight, because after Armageddon 11th launch, there's loads of orcs on eBay right now. And then with this Kill Team box coming out with the Eldar Exodites in it, there's going to be a lot more. Hey, hot tip for you right now. If you're thinking about starting a brand new army, if you've come to the end of a project, Space Marines, whatever it might be, but if you're thinking about locking in for 11th edition and going all in on a brand new faction, orcs. You're going to pick up a lot of orcs for free, for cheap, on eBay. You know what I mean? I played with dinosaurs as a kid in the 80s. So playing with them as an adult in the 40s, yes. Yes, Red Richmond. Yes, the two, you know, like Firefly. And he's like, you are no longer, you know, he's, and he's Wash, this world, this land, the two dinosaurs on the dashboard. We were all there. We were all there. You know the reference. You know the reference. I need a proper Puritan attire, especially with hats. Yes, gonna have to have your fingers on the pre-order button, dude. Yes, clicking. They're gonna sell. I just predict it. Yes. I could be wrong. My wife tells me I normally am, but on this, I think I'm right. Can the Imperial Guard have a big game hunter with a pith helmet? Dude, exactly. You know what I mean? We could have Sly Marbo, Jumanji style, with the pith hat and a big long rifle, hunting down. It just, dinosaurs in 40k. They're out there. 200 billion stars in the galaxy. They're out there. Dinosaurs are out there. You know, there's definitely intelligent life somewhere up in space, because there's bugger all down here on Earth. Dinosaurs are definitely intelligent. I saw Jurassic Park. They can open doors and everything. Right, next one. Let's go to another summer preview. Again, in no particular order. The big, what are we talking about? New plastic custodians. Plastic custodians. One of the big things that they're hunting, that they're hinting about when it comes to Heresy custodians, is they say this again and again and again. All of which can be used in Warhammer 40k. It's interesting because most of the time the Warhammer 40k design department do not want to acknowledge the Horus Heresy department, and the Horus Heresy department don't want to acknowledge the Warhammer 40k department. It's like word has come down from on high to tell them not to talk to each other or acknowledge each other in any way, shape or form, because they want you to buy your Land Raiders and Rhinos for Heresy, and you to buy your Land Raiders and Rhinos for 40k, and they're separate models and they can't overlap at all ever. Buy them again, please. That's what they want us to do, except when it comes to Custodes. They mention it again and again and again. And now we have this coming for Heresy. Now this is very interesting. And the reason why, I mean, they're glorious for a start. Those bikes look better than the 40k bikes. I'm sorry, they just do. The Telemort Dreadnought has always been a bit redunculous and chonky to me, and looks a bit derpy. Now, I like a bit derpy in 40k and in Heresy. I kind of like it. If anything looks, I talked about this earlier in the live stream. If anything looks entirely a bit too functional, it doesn't feel that 40k-ish. If something looks a bit derpy and like it can't be used properly, and why is that in this setting? Better for me. Like the massive Khorne Lord of Skulls with the tracks and the thing with the belly gun and the axe, the big chaos thing, 500 point, looks stupid. Perfect for 40k. So Telemon looks a bit derpy, but I mean that in a good way. Palace Grav tanks are epic. Now the reason why this is interesting is because I recently did a Heresy battle report, which came out. And I mentioned in the Heresy battle report that the Custodes are actually they struggle at killing tanks in their book. If you do collect Heresy, or if you're interested in collecting Heresy, and you want to take down tanks, you're going to struggle. Except for a couple of units. All three of these units. These three in particular. The Palace Grav Tack can get an Arachnus Blaze Cannon on it, which is strength 9 armor bane, 2 damage, 3 damage if it stays stationary, and is pretty good at shooting. Basically, it's a 2 or 3 damage las cannon, so it's good at killing tanks. This thing can get the same gun version in its arm and have 2 of them, and is particularly good at killing tanks, and these can charge the crap out of tanks. These 3 units are good at killing tanks. You can also put a version of the gun on the Galactus heavy tank, and you can also have Venatari jump dudes that can kill tanks as well with their stasis grenade things. Apart from those units, every other unit in the Heresy Custodes range cannot kill. And when I say tanks, by the way, I mean Spartans and Land Raiders cannot kill tanks. Anything can kill rear armor 10, Predator, Rhino. In Heresy, when you assault on a vehicle, all attacks go against rear armor. Most vehicles have rear armor 10. So, vehicles in general, yes, you can crack open vehicles in general. But big vehicles, super heavy vehicles, Spartans, Land Raiders, stuff like that, hard to take down, deliberately so. And it's good. That's one of the good aspects of the game. You need the really big guns to hurt the really big stuff. In 40k, you can shoot bolters at a Land Raider, and technically if you shoot enough bolters at a Land Raider, you can kill a Land Raider. In Heresy, you can shoot bolters at a Land Raider, and 6s to wound do not wound. You can't wound it. That's one of the differences in the game system. There are literally some guns that do nothing against certain toughness targets or armor-facing targets in Heresy. Zero, zilch, nothing at all. Whereas in 40k, that is not the case. Everything can wound everything to some degree. And Custodes really struggle against armor 14 all round, except for these guys. So I think this is a deliberate hey, the community are shouting at us because we can't kill tanks, so we're releasing the Custodes support battle group, so suddenly you have got some things to kill tanks. So that's what I think that's there for, and I think 2 of these boxes, like having 2 of them running around, 2 Palace Grav tanks, 2 of those boxes is a perfect and good addition to any Custodes force. Look at that guy, derpy as all hell, but I do like the extra addition under here and under there. I do like the extra additions that they've put here, because this was of course originally available in resin. All of this has been blinged out a little bit. The scipulus thing across the top has been blinged out a little bit. Basically the plastic kit, normally it was the other way around. The old resin kits normally had a lot more detail on than the old plastic kits, but the plastic tooling has come such a way that the level of detail on this is good. And then that's the gun, not this one. This is anti-infantry 2 damage. That's the gun that you want to kill tanks. The Arachnus, anything blaze, the blaze cannons. And then we have the Gur Falcon jet bike. How do you say that? Grave Falcon jet. You got them. Lots of detail. Good. All the bling. Good. You need bling. Palace Grav tanks. Got 3 of them. Have I got 3? I think I got 2 of them. That's the gun you want. Blaze gun, not this gun. Blaze gun. Wherever you can put blaze guns on Custodes, put blaze guns, because you're going to need them because they're terrible at killing vehicles. Basically, like in this kit, You could leave it off of that and leave it off of that and put the other versions on, and then only they'll be good at killing tanks and your Venatari. And yeah, you need the blaze wherever you can put the blaze. Jerry Falcon. Jerry, what? How do you say that? Jerry Falcon. Jerry Gur Falcon. It's a Gur Falcon jet bike. I think they look better than the 40k jet bikes. Am I capping? What do we think? So it's just the 40k jet bikes have got a lot of bling and the snarling things, but they just look more mean. Jerry Falcon. Jerry Falcon, how much of Armageddon are you adding to your own collection, Winters? All the Space Marine Armageddon bits I gave to Sultan, and he's already painted them. So he can put them to better use, and we can get them on the channel quicker. And I've got a lot of Space Marines. But he's got much more than me. And all the Orc stuff for the Armageddon, I'm adding to my Orcs. Having said that, I didn't give it all to him. I kept the captain. I kept the chaplain. I kept a couple of the characters to add some characters. Screen share. Live. I really like the control panels on the new bike. So anyway, so that's the Custodes. We looked at the Custodes. Let's look at some more reveals, guys. Some more reveals. Are you ready for some more reveals? New starter fate sets and ready painted terrain. Now, some people in the community shit the bed when they heard about ready painted terrain and said it's the worst thing ever. They're taking my hobby away from me. They Amber Hearded the crap out of it. I do not understand this. I do not understand the hate that Games Workshop got for pre-painted terrain, because along with the pre-painted terrain, they're also releasing new terrain that's not painted at all. So both. So you can have your unpainted terrain if you want to put unpainted, and you can have your pre-painted terrain if you want to have your pre-painted terrain. But there's no need to Amber Heard the crap out of it just because they're selling pre-painted terrain to people who want pre-painted terrain. And it's clip out and snap together as well. It's easy stuff. Anything that makes the hobby easier and more accessible to it's not about me. I'm talking about new people coming into the hobby. We want new people into the hobby, and if they can buy a terrain set with pre-painted terrain and, get some mats, or at least cut mats out from a piece of card, they don't have to spend £3,000 or however much this costs. How much does it cost? 40 quid or something on some terrain tiles. If they can get their terrain tiles and their pre-painted terrain and get going. Remember starting 40k back in the day and you had CD boxes and empty beer cans and that was your terrain? Now they're selling pre-painted. How did people shit the bed at the pre-painted terrain when there was also unpainted terrain? Chat, explain it to me. Pre-painted terrain is something I'll go for. Even if it was only pre-painted, one spray later it can be repainted. Preach! Yeah, it's just the internet whinging. It was, but I mean, oh my God. Oh my God, so much whinging. It was like kids in a playground. Reddit went mad. I mean, I don't go to Reddit. We stay away from Reddit, but Reddit explodes out into the rest of the internet, and the rest of us sane people find out about the insane stuff that happens on Reddit every now and then because it spills over into YouTube videos or Discord commentaries or things. People tell you what's going on in the wild lands of Reddit, okay? It's like Cormorant down that far in the internet, but god damn it, they were going mad. £18, is that how much it costs? You need to start £18 for this, for bits of card. I guess that's cheap for Games Workshop. I will be include myself with pre-painted terrain crew. Painting terrain is not hard and it will be super expensive. I miss the Cities of Death terrain sets. I remember them, they were cool. As always, let people have a choice between painted or unpainted. And you can get painted or unpainted. You can get painted or unpainted. It is up to you. There's a starter set coming. Look at that. Core Rules book, starter set terrain. as a fan of the hobby, as someone who wants as many people to get into the hobby as possible and enjoy this hobby with me, with you, with us. This, banging. Only £3 million in your left kidney. That's all it costs. No, we haven't had a look at Old World Chaos yet. They said the unpainted would be like £100 for half a board. I'll take 2. £100 for half a board. So £200 for a whole board. And then you paint it, rattle can it, and dry brush it a couple of different colours. Done. For £200, done. And look at it. I mean, have you seen the terrain? It actually looks good. Getting stuck with... Oh, by the way, this starter set as well. Some of the miniatures in the starter set... Is this the starter set? I'm not sure if it's the starter set, but there's... Oh, that's getting started with Space Marines. But there's a starter... Some of the miniatures in the new starter set are only going to be available into the this introductory set. Look, little cardboard terrain for new people getting into the hobby. Love it. Love it. They should do this all the time. Yeah, these miniatures exclusively, originally, are brand new and will only be available in the introductory set. So again, if you're looking at starting a new hobby, a new faction... If you've finished off a faction and you want to get into a new faction for this edition, if you're like, I need a new thing, Orcs, because so many people have got the Armageddon box set. We've got the Eldar Exodites coming soon, so there's going to be Orcs coming out of that. And then in this starter set, people are going to be buying these for these Space Marines that you'll only be able to get in the original starter set, originally, and then before they come out in there. And then these will pop up on eBay as well. I mean, look at that fella. He looks cool. So, yeah, Orcs. If you're looking at getting a faction on the cheap, Orcs on eBay coming really soon. New paint sets. Battlezone. Here we go. Look at this. Is this the pre-painted stuff? If you just... Is this the pre-painted thing? I think this is the pre-painted stuff. This is the pre-painted stuff. That's amaze balls. Easy for that way more. This train set for just getting more for last you can come with a train from the start set full of straight. Yeah, combine it. Lovely, 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 lovely. I mean, look at these things. They're cool. Games Workshop have done, and look, little. He's not having a good time, is he? That's Terry. Games Workshop have done terrain sets on and off and various terrain sets forever. But these are the first pre-painted ones. And I, for one, approve. And then look at these. Dung, dung, dung. Pre-painted ones. You can get the Manufacturing Ruins, you can get the Galvanic Network, and you can get the Capacitor Cluster. And these all look these good. And if you don't want them, Battlefield's Armageddon, then you can get these ones, which are the unpainted ones. Where are we? I'm going to scroll down. Scroll. Yeah, well, there's unpainted ones. If you don't want the pre-painted one, there's unpainted ones. I'm scrolling too quick, guys. I'm sorry. But look. You see how big they look next to the things that they look next to. Okay? Pre-painted terrain. I'm impressed. What do we think of that? What do we think about Orcs? Who's going to get a new Orc army? Because the amount of Orcs on eBay is too damn high. Some people say they abducted Peachy and Duncan to hand paint all the pre-painted terrain. Badum-tish. Do we know the price difference between the painted and the non-painted? We do not. I think the non-painted terrain will be about £3,000 and your left leg. The painted terrain will be £80,000 and both legs and a kidney. It's Games Workshop. The prices, they're going to be very cheap and we're all going to pay it and we're not going to complain about it at all. Cersei the Cat, thank you for your $5 donation. I love you. Thanks for the amazing content. No, thank you for your £5 donation. That's going straight on the mortgage in this economy as well, by the way. That is, thank you. I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you. It's any support, your guys' support, and Cersei, great. Thank you. I wouldn't call this amazing content. I mean, it's content. Probably quite satisfying to buy a fair few boxes of pre-painted terrain and get a brand new board set up. Dude, yeah. If you got the money, couple of boxes of pre-painted terrain, afternoon, full board set up. And then can you imagine the pre-painted terrain, and then you add it to some of the rocks that you've got, or add some of the trees you've got. It's just an example. I've got 2 legs and a kid in despair. Exactly. Guy on the stream said that painted terrain was a bit more than 2 combat patrols. Deliberately vague with that one, weren't they? Orcs vanish from eBay at light speed. The Marines are collecting dust in comparison. It's backwards of the norm, and that's wicked. Really? The Orcs are disappearing from eBay and the Space Marines are going up? Okay, so my genius idea of if you're looking for a new faction to dive into to 11th edition, there'll be loads of Orcs on eBay. Jump on eBay because of all the 11th edition things. And clearly the whole rest of the world is thinking exactly the same thing, which is now is the time to get Orcs. And the Orcs are disappearing from the eBays. But there'll be more Orcs on the eBays with the Exodite sets and with these starter sets and with the other sets. There's going to be more Orcs coming, guys. But Orcs, clearly. Orcs are popular. I mean, it's always fun to play with Orcs. It's always fun to play against Orcs. Orcs are just fun. Orcs put the game in wargaming. You know what I mean? And also, every time when you play with Orcs and you fight, you win. Every game is a win. I started to collect Orcs midway through 10th, but got a little overwhelmed, so it's on hold. Might take the opportunity in the not too distant. I would, check on eBay. Yeah, Orcs are like hotcakes. Are they really? Considering what paint studios charge, 2 comp patrols is quite cheap for half a border paint. Yep. The new Marines were just kind of bland. I think, look, the new Marines, I think that the 11th edition, here's my hot take, for what it's worth. I think the new 11th edition box set is really good for noobs. It's got the things in it that you'd want if you haven't started the hobby before. It's got your characters, it's got some intercessors, it's got a nice vehicle and some big guns. It's a nice start for new people. That's what I think about the Space Marine section in it. It's good if you're new. If you're not new, you've probably got a captain and a chunk of intercessors and XYZ. You should probably... So, yeah. The new Marines were kind of... So, that's what... Yeah, so the new Marines were kind of... Yeah, it's... Yeah. Unless you're new, you wouldn't... Yeah. In a year or two, the selling of grey parlour chains will hit a bit... Right, okay. Next, we're going to jump into some more screen sharing, guys. Some more screen... We are finally getting back to classic style Marines after this Primaris wandering. The only bad thing I've heard about the start set is the land speeders, base max attachments, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Yeah. I mean... Yeah. Right, more screen sharing. We're going to screen share some more. We did Heresy. Now we're into the old world. I agree, Armageddon is for newbies. First starter set I haven't bought for a long time. See? Armageddon is for newbies. I think the blandness of the vets gave the Marine side a bad rep. Should have done them to the level of the Stern Guard. You're all preaching truth, by the way. You're all preaching truth. A bit more bling on my vets, please. But for new players, perfect. Right? Agreed, the vets were a big letdown. Agreed. A bit more bling. But then there's the counter argument. I heard some people argue this way, which is they're leaving it kind of like a palette. So if you wanted to add some bling or do some... Yeah, I mean... Clearly Armageddon was set up for new people. And then we've got the big summer new starter sets that we showed like 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago. Clearly, they're trying to onboard some new people, which makes this edition doubly confusing, doesn't it? Because the 11th edition Armageddon set is clearly aimed at new people. We've got the... Where are we? Screen share. Press the thing. Go back to the thing. Not that one. Where are we? Is it this one? I think it's this one. This one. No, stop it. This. We've got all of this. Starter sets. We've got 11th edition. We've got starter sets, new paint sets. Everything is aimed at the newer people, newer on board. There's an academy thing that's happening. They're like, new players, come play our hobby. New players, come play our hobby. New players, come play our hobby. And I like that. However, There's not one mission in the core rule deck. Where do I get my points? Well, you got to go to Warhammer Community, and there's a whole thing. Where do I get my updated data sheets? Warhammer Community, there's a whole thing. How about how to set up the boards and the terrain? Well, there's 93 pages to download for that as well. It's just, there should be some basic missions in here, because they're doing everything right, everything else right to get new people on board. But if you were like introducing a friend to the hobby night right now, it'd be like, okay, right, what you need is you need this core book. You need a codex from the previous edition. It's just, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of balls in the air. There's a lot of, it's, yes, where the hell did I put my glasses? There they are. The hobby isn't generated anymore. Old players. New players are their financial future. Preach! I've been playing since 2nd edition, and I bought Armageddon New Rules deck. 60s, yeah. That's because all the online is dead. It'll never dispose of online. But dude, it's moving online. It's getting on. It's moving to partially online to nearly all online. And in the future it'll be all online, won't it? Everything will be in the cloud. It's all about the cloud. I don't know how to onboard a person without bringing them in and basically mentoring them. Yeah. I think onboarding these days is a bit like waterboarding. You basically need to waterboard them. Anyway, next. Big summer preview. Chaos arrives in the old world. Chaos versus Grand Cathay. Old world core set. Look at this. Here's some Grand Cathay people. Now, you probably only want them. If you already have a Grand Cathay army, you'll probably have that. So if you're a Grand Cathay person, you might not be getting the old world core set. However, oh my God. As someone who is dipping the tip into old world, as someone who's just finishing assembling their 4,000 point Beastman force, 4,203 points without any upgrades or magical items or anything. So I could easily get that to 5k points. As someone who's just done that with Beastman, and then this drops, and Beastman can take 25% Warriors of Chaos with them. They just can, because they're Chaos. And then they drop this. It's just, I mean, have all the Sigmar sculptors just moved to old world? Is that what's going on? Because someone is cooking. The miniatures they revealed at these things, he's got a big drum. Look, he's banging away. K-pop Demon Hunters on there, doing his thing. You know. Great colour scheme with these. Spray it lead belcher. Bit of rust underneath. None oil it. Dry brush on top. Job done. You could knock this out in an afternoon. Surely. Lots of personality. Not customization. What am I looking for? What's the word? The word I'm looking for is, I mean, personality, really. They just, yeah. Look at this. Look. Where's his head at? Where's his head at? Where's his head at? Fantosa says, I like big drums and I cannot lie. I like that. Where's his head at? Ferris Manus up there, look. The knights feel a bit too claustrophobic, like the base is too small for the model. The rest I love, though. What? I think it's just because they're wedged together like that. They look a bit claustrophobic. If you saw one of them on their own, you'd probably... I mean, look at their heads. Look at the detailing. Heads just above him. Is it? I mean... And, by the way, a terrible two-headed Dragons of Chaos. Look at this. Look at this. That is Warhammer. The only thing that could be better than that is a Warhammer 40k dragon with an elf on it, with las cannon strapped to the side of the dragon's head. Eldar Exodites. coming to a battlefield near you. Dragons, dinosaurs in 40k. Yes, please. You just know they're coming. It's just a matter of time. Come on, Winters, you want that. I am not giving in. I mean, that dragon is amazing. It's double-headed, amazing dragon. But I am only getting Beastmen for Old World. Though I do look at this thing here and I think, look, a guy with a thing. Look at that one. Look at it. On the battlefield. On the shelf. Just you could take it down from the shelf each night while you're drinking a tea and dunking in your hobnobs. That's a shaman. Shaman. Shabba. And this is a dude with a big stick and a sword. And you could just sort of stroke your dragon. You know? 40k Chaos Dragons with missiles on, please. Yes. With elf riders. Putting that dragon on a circle as a proxy Archeon. Yes. Dragons with frickin' laser beams attached to their heads. Keep reading. There is a very interesting arcane journal. What? Look at this. Look. Let them cook. Let them cook. Look at that painting. Look that. Oh, the Old World, by the way. This is the thing. Look. The new core set includes a revised edition of Warhammer The Old World, which has been updated with the latest FAQ. This version of the rulebook will be available separately, but this isn't a new edition. Your existing Warhammer The Old World publications are still valid. Horus Heresy 2.0 players are weeping into their 3rd edition rulebooks right now. The old Horus Heresy crowd just wanted an updated book. Is it because Heresy 3.0 bombed so hard that they've decided not to fuck with the Old World rulebook? They've just decided to update it with all the facts and things. Do not touch this. Because while I am very much enjoying 3rd edition Heresy, and while there are new 3rd edition players coming across into 3rd edition, and while if I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't play it. On the channel, when we started way back in 7th, I was playing Heresy 1.0, and I fell out of love with that for a bit, and I didn't play Heresy for about 8 years on the channel, and then I started playing it again, and if I fall out of love with it, I'll stop playing it. This is my hobby journey that you've been following me on, and if I don't want to play it, I won't play it, and if I do want to play it, I will play it. Done. I didn't play Custodes all the way through 10th edition. I have 40k Custodes. Didn't touch them. Didn't want them. Old World. They're not re-releasing it. They're just tying it up. Here's a new updated version of the book. I think something went on behind closed doors there. You know what I mean? Anyway, what are you talking about? Arcane Journal. What are you talking? Battle March. Old World, Battle March, General's Companion, Small Scary Ways to Play, First General's Companion, Old World, Warriors of Chaos, Grand Cathay, Arcane Journal, The March of Chaos. As well as new miniatures, the Warriors of Chaos are getting a new Arcane Journal. This supplement opens up new ways to use your Marauders, Warriors and Knights as you spread ruin across war-torn Westland and towards the border with Osterland. Along with the background lore and artwork, the Arcane Journal includes a new army infamy where you can combine Warriors of Chaos with the Beastmen Brayherds and rules for your wizards to manipulate the winds of magic in new ways. You can also create your own custom champions of chaos and Brayherd chieftains to lead your forces. So what you're telling me is I need to buy this because it's got some Beastmen stuff in. And I collect Beastmen and just Beastmen, just the tip. And if I don't have this, I won't have my full Beastmen collection. Okay. That's what you're telling me, Games Workshop. I might have to get that Arcane Journal. Hydrate. As a former rulebook only player, 3rd ed killed me. That's going way back, brother. Third Ed killed me. Can't wait to get... Oh, you mean Heresy? As a former rulebook only player, Third Ed killed me. Heresy. I can't wait to get into Old World with the new release of the Warriors of Chaos. Kind of funny because there's a clause in the US because of the 4th of July. Yeah. You've probably done this before, but as someone who does not play Heresy, is it Force Augur that broke the game, or is it just a chain of small problems that made people fall out with Third? Okay, so there's new people coming into the hobby all the time, and people who are joining Horus Heresy 3rd edition who are coming in new, they love it, they don't know any different. Just like people who are coming into 40k right now, and they don't know any of the other stuff, they love it. And then there's some people who played Heresy 1, played Heresy 2, adapted to the changes, and are playing Heresy 3. So, but that number is small. What you're asking is it Force Org that broke the game, or is it a chain of small problems? The answer is yes. It's not really the Force Org. It's a chain of small problems. What? This is a whole video in itself. There's a game of power armored super soldiers that you can play and score at the end of every turn, and it's called Warhammer 40k, and Heresy was not that. And they changed it to a game of power armored super soldiers where you can score at the end of every turn. That is not what Heresy players want. Most people don't start Heresy start Warhammer Heresy. Most people start Warhammer 40k or Warhammer whatever. Heresy, like Old World, most people don't get into Old World. Most people start in other sources first and end up there. Mind you, with Warhammer Total War, some people might just get straight into Old World. But Heresy tends to be a secondary system, not the primary system, the point of interest. There's reasons why people leave 40k and go into Heresy or flow into Heresy. So having a game, a mission system, which isn't score at the end of every turn, was important to Heresy players. That's one. Two, flavor. Heresy players loved being able to bring in, because most Heresy players have read the Heresy, or bits of the Heresy, or love the Heresy, or Heresy. Story-driven, sandbox, big story, big stuff. They liked the conversions. They liked the mixtures. They liked the way that you could build a narrative force. If you wanted a narrative force of Night Lords that struck at night time, you could do that. You can't do that now. If you wanted a White Scars biker army, only bikes, you could do that. You can't do it now. If you wanted a drop pod assault, Sons of Horus, tip of the spear, you could do that. You can't do it now. If you wanted specific things like a decapitation strike, Raven Guard, where you get extra points for killing the enemy warlords, you can't do that now. There were many ways that you could combine, and Force Org, so Force Org was part of it. There were many ways that you could build a Heresy force with the narrative in mind, with the story in mind. Bear in mind that this is Heresy, which you can't do now, which was taken away. That's another reason why. And that was a big reason why a lot of Heresy players left. Then the other reason is, as well as the fact that, like, I know a few Heresy players who don't play Heresy now because it feels too much like 40k because of the mission system you score at the end of every turn. And they don't want that. They play 40k and they play Heresy for their time off. But now Heresy can feel a bit 40k, so they've stopped playing Heresy, they just play 40k. What I do is I play a bit of this score at the end of every turn. We've got some missions coming up like that on Winter's SEO YouTube channel soon, but we've got some of the old Second Ed missions. I do it that way, so mix it up. So it's that. Then there's the collection side of things and the way you could form your army. Then lastly, there were a lot of legacy rules in the old Heresy, like Old World. Old World is, let's face it, nostalgia. If you were around in the 80s, 90s, noughties, and you played a bit of Old World, and you had skeletons, if you had orcs, if you had stuff, and you're coming back into the hobby, or you want something different from the normal hobby grind, the FOMO, fear of missing out, the 3-year cycle, the thing you can dump into Old World. It's a system that a lot of gamers played back in the day and are familiar with to some level. And if you pick up the book and read the main rule book, you're like, okay, it's like putting on a pair of old worn slippers, putting on your favorite boots, putting on an old jacket. It feels comfortable, familiar, nostalgic. You know what's going on, old world. Which is why they're not fucking with it with the next rule book. It's just updating all the facts and putting it in it. Heresy was like that as well. Heresy, the older editions were a blend of 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th edition. The initiative system, the weapon skill system, the ballistic skill system, the armor system, the vehicle mechanic system for pivoting and shooting and armor facing and damaging. All of that was kind of a combination of the previous systems plus some reactions, plus juiced up with a few reactions put in it. It was like putting on a pair of old boots, an old jacket, sitting down at the in front of the TV, watching Coronation Street with some Horlicks and some rich tea. It felt familiar. And now it doesn't, because the core system has changed. So the three main reasons why OG Legacy Horus Heresy players liked the game stopped. And we did live streams on this channel where we would go on the Games Workshop website and we would look at the Horus Heresy collection to try and buy models. And there was like 590, or back then, I think there's 593 now, but back then there was like 500 kits that you could buy on Games Workshop. And I remember doing a live stream, quite clearly remember doing a live stream, and we went on there to drive, because I was trying to buy Fulgrim for 9 months, and we went on there and 22 or 23 units kits were available out of the 500. We were talking earlier on in the live stream about unavailable models. There was over 400 unavailable units for Horus Heresy. And that was throughout the edition of 2.0. You could not get them for love nor money. The eBay models were going through the roof. It was super expensive. It was a really, really popular system. And that's probably why they recycled it after 3 years. It was a victim of its own giant success. And if you go on now to the Games Workshop website, out of the 593 models, units, types that are available, 570 of them will be available, including Titan arms and Titan bits and things like that. It's all available now. It's night and day. It's yin and yang. It's up and down. It's dogs and cats. The difference of model availability between 2nd edition and 3rd edition is incredible. And also the amount of armies that you can get, Horus Heresy armies that you can get on eBay right now is incredible compared to beforehand, and the prices that you can get them for. So yeah, so why did Heresy 3.0 hurt the older players? It hurt them because the nostalgia legacy way of playing the game changed. That warm slippers, the type of missions that you play can feel 40k-ish, and 4 turns. What the hell is all that about? I want 5 turns, I want 6 turns, I want more Warhammer more often, I don't want less. And then the way you collect and build a force with force organization and with your rights of war completely changed as well. And we're not even talking about the changes to the core Legion units and rules as well. Like Ultramarines have just get an additional reaction now, and Sons of Horus aren't -1 strength, they can volley fire at full ballistics. There's some core mechanic changes from the Legions and some core units missing from the Legions. And they said, hey, everything that you had in 2nd you could bring across to 3rd. Sure, yeah, you're absolutely right, Games Workshop, which is why they released a 200, 300 page fact like a week later with all the legend stuff in it. It just, what they coulda, shoulda, woulda done if I was in charge. 40k and AOS are your core fantasy sci-fi systems. They need to be their own things. An old world, the answer is on the tin, old world. And Warhammer Total War, Old World needs to feel old, older edition, nostalgic, squares, like a war game. Remember the game part of war game where it's supposed to be funny, with fanatics charging off and doing funny things, with goblins flying through the airs attached to bits of wood and tarp that land on the enemy. Do you remember the game part of war game? That's in Warhammer Old World. Crazy stuff happens all the time. A unit will break through a rank of your soldiers, and then the second rank will break because they're breaking through the rank of your soldiers, and before you know it, 25% of your army has ran off the board. Completely random stuff like that needs to happen a lot of game in your war game, which they've taken that, which they don't want in AOS, or they don't want it in 40k. You also want that in Heresy as well. You want a lot of game in your war game. You want a lot of story in your story-based system set around the Horus Heresy, where you can do things that you read about in the Horus Heresy, like Night Lords attacking at night, but night fighting completely gone. Stuff blowing up and killing the thing next to, that's gone now as well. But you could, the number of times a vehicle blew up and my warlord was stood next to it and I rolled a 1 and he died because a bit of shrapnel hit him in the head. You want that story in your story. Yes, they've balanced out some of the extremes on the bell curve to make it more event friendly. But they can balance out the extremes on the bell curve to make it more event friendly for event missions. So event people are happy and have event missions and have other stuff. And in event missions, you can say these rights of war or these formations are not legal. And event missions remove formations of legend or remove XYZ. Just stick to these ones. And then use these mission types. They could have both. As I say, I've said it before, I say it again. Why can't we have both? Put the story in the Heresy. Put the game in the war game. And that's what they should have done. So when I play Heresy, I'll stop rambling after this one, rant after this one. So when I play Heresy now, also the train rules are busted. They're the worst train rules ever written. When I play Heresy, everyone who plays Heresy has house ruled the terrain rule section. When the entire community looks at one section of your rules and doesn't follow it, I don't know of anyone who doesn't play the terrain rules as written. Maybe at Games Workshop events, but I've spoken to event organizers who are still using second ed terrain rules. Look at any YouTube channel that publishes any video about Horus Heresy 3rd edition, and there are house rules around the terrain. So you got to house rule the train system. Don't play 3rd ed missions all the time. Mix it up with 2nd ed 1st edition missions. And because they've removed so much flavour from the list building and rights of war access, add as much flavour in as you can. So that's what I do. House rule terrain, mix up the mission types, and whenever I can add a Primarch or Tyrant Siege Terminators or Palatine Blades, whenever I can add the special weapons or Sonic Shriekers or whatever it might be from my faction, from my legion back into my legion, I add it back in. They've taken so much flavour out, you have to go out of your way to add the flavour back in. And when you do that, Heresy 3.0 is actually really good fun. Because there are some things in Heresy 3.0 that they got really, really right. One of them is the challenge system. Big fan of that by now. I've had some epic challenges. And the second thing they've done that they did really, really right is initiative modifiers. Beforehand, you either struck at initiative or everyone at initiative 1. But now you've got initiative modifiers. So a captain with a power fist will punch a sergeant before a sergeant with a power fist will punch. So there are some core changes that they made in Heresy 3.0 which are banging. But there are some which are just whacked. Like vehicles can take loads and loads of glancing hits and put stasises on. So if you ring a vehicle like a dinner bell, it can make it pinned or suppressed. But if you put a big hole through it and take 8 hull points off of that big tank, it doesn't blow out the tracks or motors or anything. The vehicle damage is a bit jank. There's I've got to stop ranting. I've got to stop ranting. But yeah, that's the short answer to your question. Heresy 3.0. What do you guys think? Answers on a postcard below. Right, I'm going to clip that bit because that might be a standalone video chat. How far into it are we? Guys, how many minutes are we into the thing? Azura, thank you for the $10 super chat. I sent you on a tangent, but your explanation was worth a few dollars. Did you? Were you the one who asked the question? Thank you for the $10 super chat. I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you. In this economy, that's going straight on the mortgage. 2 hours in. We're 2 hours in. 2 hours in. I might clip that into a video. I want to see what it looks back on the rant to see whether I can put it up and it actually make meaningful sense. Did that make meaningful sense? 2 hours and 2 minutes. Did that? Sorry, I missed that. Can you repeat? Fuck you. Just rewind. Did that make reasonable? 1,000, 10,000% disagree. Agree, sorry. Do you think that would make a clip? I think that would make a clip. It was coherent. Really? Achievement unlocked. Coherency during a live stream. Yes, it did make meaningful strength. Thank you. That was a perfect summary of the problems. Oh, god damn it. Okay, I'm definitely going to... 2 hours, 2 minutes in. Guys, you're making me blush. I think, yeah. Lost count, brain melted. Yeah. Okay, so maybe that will make a good clip. Thank you for yes. Have we got anything? We've got some more things to share, but I've been doing this for 2 hours now. 2 hours. And I'm running out of aqua. Right, we're going to skip through the rest. Right, the Siege of Deathmire Week 1 results. If you didn't know that they're doing a thing where you can... Global campaign has been running for a week. Players around the world battling out to decide to in the first week. Basically, you can fight and give your results about Armageddon, 2 Games Workshop, and depending on who's winning, they'll release new models. So suddenly Outriders get weapons now. So there's that. And I want the Orcs to win the battle for Armageddon, by the way. It would be awesome if the Orcs had, mind you, the Orcs are fighting, so the Orcs win. So the Orcs have won the battle for the Armageddon. And then we've got the Necromunda. For those that don't know, Necromunda is an insanely popular skirmish game. The core rules for Necromunda are pretty sound, and by insanely popular I mean I'm sure some of you are aware, but a lot of 40k players and bigger game players aren't aware just how popular Necromunda and Blood Bowl are. Those 2 skirmish games are off the chain. They've got a lot of people play this. And so they're re-releasing the core set. Now, the problem with Necromunda isn't the core set. The problem with Necromunda is there is 1 million additions to this game. If you thought that Warhammer 40k was hard to get into because you need 1 million downloads and 1 million books and 1 million things, Necromunda has got you beat. It's insane. So Necromunda's coming back. And there's new stuff in Necromunda. I have no idea how Necromunda players feel about the new Necromunda. I imagine a lot of Necromundas are going to do what a lot of the new Blood Bowl players did, and what a lot of the new Blood Bowl players did when they re-released Blood Bowl was completely ignore the new edition. There are some that bought the new edition and are playing the new edition, but I know as good friends like 6, 7, 8 people who play Blood Bowl personally, and none of them got the new edition. They just still play the old edition because the old edition's out. So it'll be interesting to see how many Necromunda players actually get the new Necromunda edition and the new core rules. I hope it goes some way to help consolidate some of the rules in Necromunda because they are all over the place. It is insane. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Look at this cover art. Again, I just finished Hive by Dan Abnett. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. New gang books. Just, yeah. It looks good. Have we got any Necromunda players in the chat? Mr. Heresy 2.0 took ages for me and my friends to understand the rules. Should we upgrade to 3 rules and not in a row? I'm still on the Heresy 2.0. It took ages for me and my friends to understand the rules. Should we upgrade to the 3.0 rules? As a member of the Games Workshop content creator community, I should definitely tell you to go to the 3.0 rule set for Horus Heresy. But I'm not a shill, and I will tell you, no, do not do that. If it took ages for you to get onto the 2.0, and now you're understanding it, and now you're playing Heresy 2.0, stick with 2.0. Skip all of 3rd edition, and then when 4th edition releases, Heresy 4th, then reset. If you're just getting into it now, 2nd edition, banging, stick with 2nd edition. You'll have a lot of fun. Say Necromunda one more time. Yes, so we have got a Necromunda player who will be getting it. Always see people playing Blood Bowl when I go to Dust. Yeah, like Blood Bowl. Always see people when I go to... I have too much Necromunda already in most of the books. I don't need any more, thanks. I do need to finish painting what I have so I can play all of the campaigns and things. Yeah, William, stick with 2.0. If you're just into it and you just get there, you don't need to move to 3rd. I mean, the only thing you're going to be missing is there's going to be a couple of new unit types like Saturnine Dreadnought and the Saturnine Terminators, and the rules for them are mediocre, by the way. They're not essential. I would wait for 4th edition. There are a number of 40k players that skip editions. There are 40k players that just stay. I know 40k players who are playing 8th edition. Last time I was at Element Games, I was chatting away to these, and there was a big thing going down at the end table, and I went over there and chatted to these people, and they were all playing 8th. And they said, oh yeah, we never... And this was middle of 10th. No, this was last year for the narrative. So this is the end of 10th. This is the last year of 10th edition. And there were like 10 people playing on this table. And he said, oh yeah, we never went from 8th. We stayed at 8th. I know people who still play 2nd edition 40k. Mini Wargaming do a lot of 4th edition 40k stuff. And then again, in the community and people I chat to, it's not uncommon for people to do like every other edition of 40k. It's perfectly okay for you to stick to an edition and play your Warhammer your way. They're your miniatures, your time, your money, your effort. Yeah. I'd skip 3rd ed if you just started 2nd. Anyway. This is a long live stream, isn't it? We need to wrap up, guys. You've got to go away and you know, have some milk and cookies. I need to hydrate. I'm running out of aqua. Voda Mineralna is running dry. When more dice? Listen, I'd normally get a chunk of dice every year, and then they sell out. So we did the red ones, and then we did the blue ones. This year I was going to get a chunk of black dice, but I ended up giving Sultan £3,000 to paint 4,000 points worth of Old World. Well, not just to paint, but to assemble and paint the Old World. And when I said I did it, you did it. All your donations and memberships paid Sultan. And he painted 4,000 points of Old World in 2 months because he's an absolute G. That money was going to go onto the dice because so I don't know when I'm getting dice. I'll talk to her, but I don't think. And then she's been not well, and then there's been a few things in the background. So I don't think we have the investment to, because it's a big upfront investment, and dice I make about 20% profit on. So it's not really a money-making thing. It's get dice out there for you guys thing. I don't think I've got a couple of grand that I can just drop on some getting a few thousand dice. And then I can't just buy a few hundred dice, because then it's just lots of effort and lots of time, lots of money to not make any money. So it needs to be a chunk. It needs to be 5,000 or something like that. So dice, I don't know when. Watch this space. I do need to have a conversation with her, because you're not the first person to ask. I have had a few emails recently, a few people saying, Winter's dice, when can we get dice? And I don't have any. I need some dice. It might be next year. It might be soon. Don't know. Excuse me. More dice. Has the weather improved? It's still hot as balls, mate, but not as hot. The attic is never getting done at this rate. The attic is a dream. The whole loft space into a gaming thing, I mean, you're looking at a lot of money. But getting double tables up there with studio and sofas, and I mean, that's just a dream. That's if we win the lottery dream. That's that sort of thing, you know. I need like 100 grand for that. Black and purple, no. Winter's Emperor's Children dice, no. Not black and purple. Actually, black and purple might look cool. You might be right. Black and purple might be... Okay, you might be right. We want small bags of Winter's board pebbles. Buy pebbles from Winter's SEO. It's a small bag. Each one blessed. Yeah. Dude, 2-minute warning. I've got to wrap this up. Aqua is out. Thank you for joining me on this week's Talkie Tuesday live stream. Thank you for your support. Click this like button, subscribe, share, things like that. If you're not a member and you do want to support me, consider becoming a channel member. And if you become a tier 3 channel member, you get an extra battle report every single Winter's Wednesday. Tier 1 unlocks the custom images. Tier 2, the Discord. Tier 3 is all the extra battle reports and things. Those 2 events that I mentioned, there are 2 events coming up. If you're in the Discord and you want to go to a community event, there's the Realm of Chaos event on the 8th of 8th at Firestorm Games in Cardiff. There's the 2-day 4-game narrative event at Element Games in Cardiff on the 10th and 11th of October. Chance to meet me, missions there, the Damocles golf thing. So there's events coming up. I'm re-energized. I'm feeling the hobby right now. I'm painting a lot. I'm playing a lot. Hive from Dan Abnett was good. And I'm enjoying the love from you guys as well. This is good. I ranted about Heresy 3.0 for a second there, but I am enjoying Heresy 3.0 so long as you house rule the terrains, add the flavour back in wherever you can, and don't just stick to the 3rd ed missions. Heresy has been good fun too. I just preferred 2nd edition. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's got different editions of 40k that they prefer the most. Everyone's got different editions of different games that they prefer the most. It doesn't mean that it sucks. It just means that I prefer that one. Anyway, but I'm loving it right now. I'm engaged, and you guys are a big part of engage. We're engaged. We're married. You and I. We're married. We're engaged. We're not married. I'm married to my wife, but we're engaged. So thank you for the love, for the support and the things. Yeah. And sending love to you and the family. Thank you. Winter's event at Element Games in Glasgow. 3 more weeks until we get the month. No more hot as balls. Good night, chaps. Good night, Phanto Sir. Good night, Eternal Crusader. Good night, Joseph Troon, Red Richmond, Makachinki. Did I mention Eternal Crusader, Cyclone, Zed Hawk, Wonkatrong? Thank you all. And happy wargaming. And what was that? Thank you for the entertainment while gardening. Great listening too. Thank you, Rath Constantine. How could I possibly forget you? I try so hard to forget you every day, but I can't forget you. Your face is carved into my brain. Have a lovely night, Winters. You too. Happy wargaming.